India Legal, stories that count.
Hello and welcome to another special readout from India Legal magazine. As you know, we are the nation's first political legal independent weekly focusing on controversial issues of national and international importance. The video readouts we present to you regularly are the editorial team's choice of the most significant stories we believe should receive close scrutiny and wide circulation. You can watch them along with the visuals or listen to them as you would a podcast. In this commentary, we focus on the legacy of India's Chief Justice N.V. Ramana. The author of this piece is Dr. Lokendra Malik, one of our frequent commentators. Malik is practicing advocate in the Supreme Court and Delhi High Court. He also has taught law in different reputed universities, including the Indian Institute of Public Administration, New Delhi. Public law is his main area of interest in terms of litigation, academic writings, and research. He's been a member of the internship committee of the Lok Sabha and is also a member of some other prominent academic bodies such as the Indian Law Institute and the Indian Institute of Public Administration. He is also a prolific author. In this week's issue, he focuses on Justice Ramana's eventful term in office. In fact, this is one of several articles he has written for India Legal on individual judges and their contributions to jurisprudential wisdom and controversies. The Chief Justice of India, we call him the CJI, will be completing his term in office in about, say, 6 months or so. Dr. Malik writes that Ramana, CJI Ramana, will be remembered for filling up crucial vacancies, promoting digital technology, and his humanness. However, cases of constitutional importance probably need more urgency. As I make this presentation to you, Justice Ramana will have completed 1 year in office on April 24th this year. He assumed the highest judicial post in the country during a difficult time. His predecessor, CJI S.A. Bobde, failed to break the deadlock in the Supreme Court collegium, and 10 vacancies of judges had piled up. CJI Ramana's sincere efforts and dynamic leadership were in full display when he managed to fill all those vacancies when he became the leader of the collegium, the authority which selects judges for the Supreme Court and High Court since 1993. Surprisingly, CJI Bobde could not convince his collegium colleagues to select even a single judge for the court. Media reports indicate that a stalemate had occurred in the collegium regarding the names of a few judges to whom the law ministry had objections. The reports also indicated that Justice Rohinton F. Nariman, a senior Supreme Court judge and collegium member, had suggested to CJI Bobde not to bypass some senior judges and chief justices of high courts. It was a small controversy, but it held things up. Dr. Malik reveals that the CJI then called a meeting of the collegium 3 or 4 times, but all ended without any consensus or recommendations. As a result, several vacancies of judges occurred in the top court, and CJI Bobde retired without making any appointment to it. Dr. Malik reveals that after assuming the office of CJI, Justice Ramana waited for a few months and then called a meeting of the Supreme Court collegium in, I think it was August 2021. By that time, Justice Nariman had retired. The entire collegium supported CJI Ramana's proposals, and 9 judges were selected for the apex court. This was a remarkable feat. By doing so, CJI Ramana created history. For the first time, 3 women judges were selected for the court in one go, One of them is likely to become CJI if the order of seniority remains undisturbed. In addition, a brilliant senior lawyer of the Supreme Court was also selected directly from the bar. He too is likely to become CJI based on the seniority principle. Thankfully, the Centre cooperated greatly with CJI Ramana and notified all the appointments at rocket speed. Today, the Supreme Court has 4 women judges. Unfortunately, some brilliant High Court judges and Chief Justices missed the bus. The Collegium also failed to balance judicial appointments. As of now, the Supreme Court has only 1 minority judge. At least 1 or 2 more judges from the minority communities, recommends Malik, need to be appointed to the apex court. This is what has usually been the practice since the inauguration of the court, given the demographic equations in our country today. See, no apex court judge belongs to communities like Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists, tribals, etc. And there are only 2 Dalit judges. More Dalit and OBC judges are required in the court. Many judicial scholars believe that the Supreme Court should reflect the diversity of the nation and give representation to different sections of society. If the Collegium considers all these factors while recommending the names of judges for the Supreme Court and High Courts, it will also strengthen the credibility of the judiciary and boost people's faith. This is Dr. Malik's earnest belief. The Collegium has also recommended the names of hundreds of persons, including Chief Justices, for different High Courts. Admittedly, several recommendations are implemented by the government, but some of them are still languishing. They are lying on the table of the law minister. In some cases, the Collegium has reiterated the names, but despite this, the government has not yet cleared them. Perhaps the Collegium needs to continue to be assertive. On the administrative side of the Supreme Court, CJI Ramana has taken up many important issues relating to the judiciary with the centre and the states. His efforts in promoting the use of digital technology to enhance access to justice are quite commendable. Dr. Malik quotes him as saying that he has asked the government to improve judicial infrastructure in the country. Here's a quote from him. Judicial infrastructure needs to be improved. Unfortunately, we are not even meeting the basic minimum standards in this area. It has been my endeavour, he says, since assuming office of the Chief Justice of India, to put in place an institutional mechanism to coordinate and oversee the improvement of judicial infrastructure. Mere allocation of funds is not enough. The challenge is to put the available resources to optimum use. I have been pursuing the government for setting up of statutory authorities both at the centre and in the states. As far as the judicial side of the Supreme Court is concerned, the results are sometimes a mixed bag. Although CJI Ramana has tried to solve the issue of arrears and backlogs of cases in the apex court, which keep mounting, the COVID crisis did not allow him to resume physical hearings for a long time. Despite that, the court has decided on thousands of cases. CJI Ramana-led benches have heard various sensitive cases like Pegasus, sedition, the Lakhimpur Kheri violence, tribunals, etc. But several important cases of great constitutional importance, such as Article 370, which I think is coming up very soon, electoral bonds, Sabarimala, CAA-NRC, the powers of the CBI, the UAPA, etc., are still pending before the court. These, observers say, should be heard on a priority basis. Now, being the master of the roster, CJI Ramana may consider listing them for early hearing before appropriate benches. The court has a glorious record of protecting fundamental rights, and it should maintain this. Now, delay in adjudication of cases involving the fundamental rights of the people sends a wrong message to society. Also, the government and law enforcement agencies misuse the pendency, the waiting period, for their advantage. Rule of law demands that the court should always maintain pressure on the government to run the administration according to constitutional norms and principles. This is what the people expect from the judiciary in a constitutionally controlled democracy. Off the bench also, off the bench that is, CJI Ramana is very active and participates in the socio-legal debates on different platforms, particularly in judicial academies and law schools. He presides over convocation addresses and inspires young law students to join litigation. As a chief spokesman and a leader of the Indian judiciary, CJI Ramana never hesitates to express his views about socio-legal issues facing the nation. For doing good work, he praises the government and its agencies, but does not hesitate to criticize them whenever they violate the rule of law. He boosts the morale and confidence of judges, law enforcement agencies, and even common people through his thought-provoking words, and encourages them to act without fear or favor. Dr. Malik recalls that a few weeks ago, while delivering the D.P. Kohli Memorial Lecture, CJI Ramana encouraged the CBI to act professionally and honestly. The political executive will change with time, he said, but you as an institution, and this is CJI Ramana lecturing to the CBI, are permanent. Be impermeable and be independent. Pledge solidarity to your service. Your fraternity is your strength. Strong words from the Chief Justice. Recently, at a function in Telangana, CJI Ramana told judicial officers of the state judicial services to create a congenial atmosphere for litigants and members of the human and remember the human, litigants and remember the human aspect while deciding cases. He also told them to keep themselves updated with the changes in the law and developments in other sectors like science and technology. He also assured them that he had taken up their case with the Pay Commission recently and there was good news around the corner. He also expressed a concern about the increasing incidence of attacks on judges, unfair attacks in print and elsewhere on the social media. These concerns need serious consideration. In conclusion, that should read, the author asserts that considering all these aspects, it can be said that CJI Ramana is a judicial statesman who addressed many issues after assuming office. During his tenure, he developed good relations with the government to protect the collective interests of the judiciary, and up to a large extent he has been successful in convincing the government to approve several proposals, including judicial appointments. He has also inspired his brother and sister judges to give speedy justice to the people, and also he has opened the doors of the court to the common people by making its judgments available in vernacular languages like Hindi, Tamil, Marathi, Kannada, Telugu, Punjabi, Gujarati, Malayalam, Bengali, and others. He has been successful in filling up hundreds of vacancies of judges in the High Court, but more efforts are required. He speaks frankly on issues of national concerns and uses his office as an opportunity to humanize law. He is rightly concerned about women's representation in the judiciary and has taken some timely steps to enhance it. The bar has also appreciated his efforts. CJI Ramana is scheduled to retire after a few months. His legacy will be well remembered. As the eminent legal philosopher Professor Upendra Bakshi put it, Justice Ramana is a distinguished judge who has conducted the affairs of the court in a very dignified manner. He is a perfect, gentle person and a great judge. I hope with the cooperation of all his brethren, he will lead the institution to new heights. That's Professor Upendra Bakshi talking about Judge Ramana. We all know that Professor Bakshi is renowned the world over for his scholarship. He has neither the time nor the need for any form of sycophancy. And I don't think anybody could have said it better. This is a well-deserved tribute, Justice Ramana. You can justly and justifiably be proud of it. This is your host editor, Inderjit Badhwar. Until next time, goodbye for now.
India Legal, stories that count.